not for broadcast on Fedora 40.
Good evening, I'm Megan Wolf.
And I'm Jeremy Dawes. Our main headlines tonight.
Daddy, it's starting!
To every single one of you's a bit Jesus.
What a wild ride this has been. Well, that's a very blunt question. That's all coming up on tonight's National Nightly News.
Oh, that was trippy. Some speeches are so bright all of a sudden. Yeah.
Hi, David, I have a call for you. I'm just putting it through. All right, mate. Dave here. Listen, I know you've only come in to clean up the place, but I've got a bit caught up, so you're going to have to run the news tonight. Now, don't worry, it's not hard, and I'm going to stay on the phone and help you. First, I'm going to give you a quick tour of the broadcast room, so if you're not doing it already, look forwards towards all those screens. Right, look up at the top. That coloured bar is your audience. You want to keep the viewers going up and not down. Underneath that, you've got the screens. The one on the right is the broadcast screen. That's what the viewers are seeing at home. It's only a couple of seconds behind the master screen there in the middle. That's the one you control. Now, the four small screens on the left show the different signals coming from the studio, and you can choose between them using the numbered buttons on the vision mixer at the bottom left. Don't worry, I'll talk you through it and you'll pick it up in no time.
All right.
Now, have a look to your left. These plugs control everything in the studio. I've left them set up for you, so provided you haven't fiddled with them, all you have to do now is throw the master trip switch and we're in business. Once you've got the power on, face the front again. You can see on the broadcast screen that we're in the end titles for the show before us. Fortunately, they go on for fucking ages, so there's plenty of time for me to explain. Oh, right, okay, they're over, so we haven't got long now till the broadcast. Right, quickly, mate, look down under the desk. You can see a load of videotapes on the left. They're your adverts. Pick any three and load them into the machines on the right. When you've done that, look up to the front again. Right, the tapes are loaded and we're all ready for when we get to the first ad break. That's great. Any second now, you should be getting a signal through from the studio. Stay on your toes, mate. It's election night, so all eyes are on this room. We do not want to get fired.
With multiple award-winning movie.
When you get the signal, select screen 1 with the vision mixer and we're ready to go.
Prawn and mayonnaise?
You know seafood makes me go out in pustules.
Yeah, thought it might increase our viewing figures.
Every day. You offer me prawns every day.
10 seconds, everybody. That's how I show love.
You're trying to kill me.
And yet you persist. Going in 5, 4.
But now, it's time to join Jeremy Donaldson.
Good evening, I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Our main stories tonight.
Okay, we're all good. Next thing is going to be to throw the news titles on screen 2. There'll be a countdown, but I'll count you in as well. Just relax, mate. It's all gravy.
Buys Honest Andy's Totally Independent and corners the flowered market. Top chat. Sports fans everywhere celebrate as popular footballer Johnny Hamsleeves wins Sports Personality of the Year. And a spoonful of sugar. Megan will be chatting with movie star Lawrence Blunderclatch about his new movie, The Medicated. And, of course, we'll be going live to Advance headquarters to hear what the leaders of this fledgling party have to say on their historic...
Right, button 2 in 3, 2, 1, now. Lovely, mate. Next thing is to throw back to Jeremy with button 1 when that globe in the middle shrinks down and vanishes.
He shot his cornflakes.
Yeah, but he's hot though.
I suppose so, into oxygen too.
10 seconds, everybody. Your fragility is leaking. Going in 5, 4,
Bit early there, mate.
3.
Oh,
But first, the votes are in and it's a decisive win for Advance. The landslide victory, with an astonishing 81% of the popular vote, is the biggest election win in living memory. Advance appealed to voters up and down the country with their bold promises of permanent change. But critics have accused him of a severe lack of actual policies and of being deliberately vague. The opposition parties have all conceded defeat to Advance's overwhelming mandate, but have yet to
wanting
appear
to know is
publicly.
that just
However, former
end
Home
of the show.
Secretary
Right, it's going well. All you've got to do now is play the advert at the end of the segment. Make sure you don't play it too early or we'll all get fired. Now the clock at the top is counting you down to the advert. When it reaches
Okay.
0, press one of the 3 play ad buttons over there at the bottom right. I normally play the first one at the first break and so on, but you can play them in any order you want. I'll count you into it as well, but keep your eye on the clock.
to hear the co-leader's acceptance speech.
And 3,
That's all coming
2,
up.
1, advert.
1 minute back, everybody.
Jeremy, I need you to fill after the ads.
What? Why?
Wanker Snatch is running late.
I thought I'd ask him about the election.
Personally, I wouldn't try to confuse him with any big words.
That's the same policy we use with you.
I thought that was our little secret.
It's all right, he doesn't remember anything I tell him.
I'm deeply uncomfortable with your burgeoning friendship.
Me too.
Yeah.
Wicked. We've made it to the first ad break. You're doing great, mate. But this is where it starts getting a bit trickier. This next sequence is what we call a multicam sequence, because you're going to be cutting between multiple cameras to keep things interesting. A lot of it's down to
Okay.
personal taste, but here's 3 good rules of thumb. 1. Try and keep the shot on whoever is doing the talking. 2. Don't stay on the same shot for too long, 10 seconds at the most. So if you're on the person who's talking, try and throw in the odd reaction shot or pull out to the wide shot for a bit just to keep it interesting. 3. Don't stay on reaction shots for too long. A couple of seconds is usually enough. Then the audience want to see who's doing the talking, yeah? Stick to these rules and you'll be fine. It's not as complicated as it sounds. You've seen programs on television, haven't you? Make it look like those. Might as well get screen 1 selected now. No need to wait for the broadcast to start. Try and stay ahead, mate.
We're coming back from the break. Quiet in the studio.
Thank you so much.
10 seconds, everybody. Going in 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News. Later, we'll be hearing from shock election winners Advance. But first
Get
up,
ready to go to
Wayland
Megan on
reporter
screen
Megan
4.
Wolf is here with a star of both stage and screen. Megan?
Thank you, Jeremy. Megan Wolf, culture correspondent. And today I have a guest who starred in everything from Shakespeare
Right,
to the
go to
Shop
Blunderclatch
films.
on screen 3 when she says his
Joined
name.
today by none other than Lawrence Blunderclatch. Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, my dear, I do hope you believe me when I tell you that being with you here today is among
Switch to
the
2 for the wide now.
May I say, having you here with us is among ours.
Right, now just try and stay on whoever's talking.
Your latest movie, which is called The Medicated.
The medicated, yes.
Wow, what was that like?
Well, as I said to Peter at the Rat, that's Peter Jensen, the director.
Give us a look at Megan's reaction.
He's a wonderful
Lovely.
guy.
Now back to Thunder Twat.
I've worked with him on several movies, all terribly successful. I said to Peter, what a wild ride this has been. And do you know what, Megan? I really meant that.
Wow, that is fantastic. And am I right in saying that the character you play in this movie is quite an academic one?
Absolutely right. A scientist.
Was that a challenge at all?
What exactly are you implying? But seriously, yes, you're right. It was a complete departure from my last starring role when I played Sergeant Brock Rockman in Bullet Man. You'll remember that that was the true story of one soldier's fight for a love that surpasses all others. A love, of course, for freedom. I think it's grossed over $1 billion, but honestly, who's counting?
It's a role that saw you scoop 2 Best Actor awards, if I remember correctly.
It's so sweet of you to mention it, but I really am not in it for the awards, although those 3 little statues do take pride of place on my mantelpiece.
with all the others, I'm sure. So, if you're not doing it for the awards, what is it then that drives you?
That is a beautiful question, Megan, and not easy to answer. Like you, I'm afraid. Cut me, and I will bleed. And often, that's how it feels, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Bleeding, giving, suffering for one's audience. I suppose in the end, I do it for the difference it makes. I do it for the people that I inspire.
I shouldn't have switched to her folding cards.
But most of all, I think I do it for the positive change that I can bring about in the world.
Been on that shot a bit long.
And today, of course, we're in for some real change, it looks like, in the coming few months. What do you make of this historic election result?
Oh, well. Well, now you're asking. Historic election result. Indeed. Historic is the word. Well, it's difficult, isn't it? Very difficult. But I think I've always been quite clear that when it comes to politics, one should always strive to not fuck things up.
Shit, he swore. Oh, well, don't worry, he won't do it again.
I said fuck.
Shit, he did it again. Okay, don't panic. I'll explain how to deal with swearing at the break.
Dedicated, which opens next week
Right,
around the
they've swapped
country.
the shot of Jeremy on screen 1 for a VT of the movie clip. You'll get a countdown on the screen, but I'll just let Megan cue you in.
My character, Dr. Lance Hemlock, is faced with a decision that could affect humanity's very survival.
Exciting stuff. Let's take a look. Exciting stuff.
God, looks like Blunderclatch is really losing it in the studio. I'd love to hear what he's saying, but we can't find out now. We'll go to the Russia's room together once the broadcast's over.
I don't understand it.
It's not your fault.
You think I don't know that?
No one mustn't think of Carol.
That's Dr. Lance to you, Miss Flanagan.
This is quite interesting. It is like what's happening behind the screen.
All for you.
Or scenes, I should say.
I'm gonna change the world, do you remember? I want to listen to you.
Dr. Hemlock.
You told me, but I didn't listen.
Doctor,
I'm drowning, Lance, you said.
you need to see this.
No, it's all too late.
Look at this!
The virus. The sterility. This formula. This is the key.
We could stop it all.
Yes, we could stop it all. We have to ask ourselves.
At the end of the clip, you'll want to play another ad. Remember to use the clock at the top to count you in. Right, I guess I better explain how to deal with bleeping out swear words. As you've probably noticed, the broadcast screen, here, is about 2 seconds behind the master screen, here. When someone says a naughty word, the bleep button lights up, like this. 2 seconds later, you'll hear that swear word going out on the broadcast, and you need to hold down the bleep button, or the spacebar on your keyboard, for as long as the swear word lasts. It can take a bit of practice getting used to hearing 2 things at once. Just stay calm, and you'll get it. And if you can't tell when to bleep, just above the button, you'll literally be able to see the sound scrolling by. All you gotta do is hold it down while the red bit is over the red line. Simple. Of course, if you do it by eye, you'll have to take your eye off the screens. That's why real professionals do it by ear. Most people like to have the volume of the broadcast screen a little bit below the master screen. Let's set it now.
These potentially true statistics are all terrifying reasons why you need to pop a
As you turn it up, you'll hear the advert getting louder. Good. You're set to start censoring. Like I say, it takes a little practice, but I'll try and help you through it, and soon we'll have you bleeping like a pro. Remember, button lights up, count 1, 2, and hold it down. Remember to select screen 1 now that you've got the feed. Don't wait for the broadcast to go live. That's too late. You can use the number buttons on your keyboard, 1 to 4.
Seriously, Hadwell.
5, 4, 3.
Welcome back. And I'm told we can now go live to advance headquarters. I'm told we can now go live to advance headquarters. Where the two leaders, Peter Clement and Julia Salisbury, are about to make their acceptance address.
Cut to the outside broadcast. Oh shit, he's pissed. Get ready to bleep.
All right, Pat.
You're bleeping normal stuff.
All for
That's
coming,
not a swear
well,
word.
where do I start? What a day.
They said we couldn't do it.
Remember
certainly
the 10
did.
second
They used every dirty, low-down, lying southern trick they had against us.
Nice.
But you, the people, you saw right through their
I'm sorry about the language there.
Sorry about that. I've had a couple of celebrations.
It's just in
Makes me coarser than a granny's.
Memorably put. But to be honest,
Mix it
who
up a
can
bit,
blame Peter for celebrating? Throughout the
us a
campaign, you've
reaction
heard us
shot.
say that Advance are not a political party.
Bored with this shit,
That is what
mate?
you have when things are going well.
Whoops.
You don't need a party. You need a team. A team that can change things. But today is day 1 of a new future. A better, fairer future. So perhaps we should all be celebrating.
Except for the rich. For them, the party's over. They shouldn't be celebrating. They should be putting their shitting pants on and opening
Oh
their
no,
to check.
it is.
Again, colourfully put,
I'm just,
but
yeah.
not enough to it. Before we came out here to address the
Get on the
nation, we
speaker,
used
mate.
our executive powers to pass the Assets and Wealth Act. Working with the tax office, we have produced a definitive list of every person in the country with wealth into the millions.
You know the sort of, probably you rather you don't. Because the likes of you and me are not welcome in their gated communities.
Tomorrow, we will be introducing a sweeping reform of the tax system in this country. No more hiding wealth offshore, no more trust funds or creative accounting. A simpler, fairer, unavoidable set of tax laws.
So, all you bastard public school snobs
totally
have
missed
got
that.
nowhere to hide. And earlier today, we revoked your passports. You want them back? You want to
What?
leave like you threatened before the election? That's fine. But first, you're going to pay up. You're going to pay back.
Too long on
Advance
this,
are going
mate.
to turn this country from a nation of warring individuals into a team. To properly fund health and education. To raise the living standards of us all.
The pundits said we'd have to raise billions. But you'll see when we've reclaimed what's ours, that's absolute ferret. So to you posh twats,
The people
Oh,
who pay
whoops.
your
have to
pittance
hold
to
down
serve
the
them
bleep
drinks in
button
their
for it to
private
work.
clubs. The people whose children you raise.
so
Well,
you've
that's
got
kind
time
of-
to get even richer.
Advance have this to say to you.
It ends today.
We are coming for your sports cars and your mansions and your vineyards.
It ends today.
We will put the
True.
wealth of this country back where it should have always been. In the hands of the people who created it.
It ends today.
Yes, it ends today. And
Oops.
tomorrow, we'll start making it fair again.
I'm not looking at the
Just
little
like we
screens.
promised we would.
And until then, ladies and gents, I suggest we all get
I can't argue with that. Thank you for your time.
Well, an interesting acceptance speech there from the leaders of Advance, and our apologies for the fruity language. Hopefully we got that bleeped out for you in time. If not, someone's going to be in trouble. So, as the country braces itself for new government, that's all from us this evening at the National Nightly News. We'll be back tomorrow with full coverage of the first day under Advance. I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Have a peace.
Right, looks like you've got it now. Thanks for all the help, mate. I've got to go. Ferry's about to leave. Probably won't be coming back. Job's yours, mate. Good luck.
This is not some child's tale. This is not a dream. This is reality. This is the story of you and how you're stupid and asleep. It's about how you were promised the Elysian Fields, but you ended up filleting Satan for the salty crumbs. It's happening here. It's happening now. And it's all happening right in front of you.
When the program's finished,
I wanted to watch the ad.
3 pages. This first page shows you how well the broadcast went. Each sequence and an overall grade. Remember, grades mean bonuses, and they keep the boss happy. If you want to know more about how it went, select more
Okay,
info.
I'm going
If
to
not,
leave that
select
there.
continue to